This is Mark with rawnutrition.com. In this video, I'm going to be comparing 3 different juicers juicing grapefruits. I got 3 different types of juicers here, and I'm going to do a demonstration with each one. First, I'll talk a little bit about each juicer and how it works to extract the juice from the fruit. So let's get started right away. I've got the first juicer on this side is the Breville Juice Fountain Elite. It's a centrifugal juicer, and it basically extracts juice through centrifugal force. I'll open this up here so you can see that. So basically the fruit is pushed inside this blade. It'll be spun, chewed, the fibers are to centrifugal force hit the sides, and the juice is filtered through the screen. Juices through this will produce very little pulp. You'll notice that in our demonstration. I'll also be comparing the type of juice you get with each juicer. So with the centrifuge juicer, definitely there'll be little pulp because it's all going through that fine screen. Assemble this back together. This is a very fast turning juicer. The Breville Juice Fountain Elite, this is the model 800. It turns at 10,000 revolutions per minute. Perfect, so enough said about the Breville. Over here I've got the Kubings, the whole slow juicer. This is a slow masticating type juicer. It's actually a large auger in the center that slowly grinds, crushes, and squeezes the juice out of the fiber of the fruit. So this one here has a wide opening, a 3-inch opening, just like the Breville. And the third juicer I have is a juice press. With a juice press, it's basically just physical force will press down. Now these are not peeled, I just simply cut them in half, and then we will press them, each piece, and extract the juice. So let's go get started right away, and we'll see how it goes. So these are a little too big. I will have to break them up into 3 or 4 pieces per juicer so they can fit in, even though it's a wide mouth. These are all way larger than 3 inches. I'll just break that down. I left them together so you can see I had 3 grapefruits for each. These are ruby red grapefruits, and all that's been done is these have been peeled, and the last ones on the end there have been sliced in half. Perfect, so we are ready to go with the Breville. Go ahead and turn that on. You don't want to hear me too much, as centrifugal type juicers are pretty loud. Be sure to always use a pusher. Put your hands in there. It's pretty messy. I probably need to follow a container as I put each one in there. This is really fluffing up the juice, having a lot of air into it. So I'm making a little bit of a mess here. Lower speed, and it won't spit out as much. It's not going to spit out as much. So this model has 2 speeds. You can see the high speed was really throwing that out, so I did lose some drops there. So centrifugal juicers, you can see, are really not the best for citrus fruits like this. You got oranges and grapefruit. It's going to really make a fluffy beverage. And lastly, we've got definitely a lot of juice or a lot of foam. So even spilling over a little bit. A lot of air. Well, that was pretty noisy, and that was pretty messy. Let's try our hands with the whole slow juicer from Kubings. This juicer turns at 60 revolutions per minute. You'll see it's a lot quieter. It really just crushes and squeezes the fiber to get the juice out. Break these in some pieces so we can get started. Now this juicer, as I mentioned, is a lot quieter. You always want to put some fruit in before you get started. With this type of juicer, I really won't have to push anything down. Open up the juice cap. Everything will get taken up by the auger. If it doesn't, occasionally you can push them down with the pusher. You don't need to put too much force. You don't want to be jamming things in while let the juicer process. Occasionally you do have to push. You can see it's a lot quieter process. There's no air being incorporated compared to the centrifuge juicer with the high speed. And that's starting pretty well. You can easily just keep adding your fruit. Even though it only turns at 60 revolutions per minute, obviously something like this is very soft. It's crushing, squeezing it pretty quickly. There's the last piece. With the cubings, you do have a juice cap so you can keep juices inside for mixing. And you just let the machine run until it's pretty much done squeezing out the last of the juice. You see a little bit of squeaking as it's turning, kind of normal as there's less vegetables or fruit inside. Alright, well next up is the citrus press. So very different type of extraction. We're really just pressing, so we're not actually even juicing the skin, like inner skin of the grapefruit. It's really just going to press the flesh, which is where we'll find the most flavor. I'll just turn this on so I can use it. So the juice press is very easy to use. You simply place your fruit, get your fingers out of the way, and then squeeze down. You may want to hold it back a little bit. The front legs could be a little longer to prevent tipping or from more leverage. And you squeeze it all the way down. You do want to avoid squeezing too much. I think I pushed a little too hard. I'll get a little bit of suction there. You squeeze too much, actually, you're going to start pressing the oil out of the skin. It may make your juice a little bitter. You need a lot of pulp left over. This will not get the most juice out. You'll find a slow juicer type like the cubings will really get the most juice out of your fruit. This will lead. The difference is with a press like this, you're going to get the best flavor. I just need to insert this so it doesn't pop back out. You can also turn it a little bit and then press again when you get out the most juice. That'll also help. You'll definitely see the yield with this juicer is going to be a lot less. As I mentioned, the flavor will be much more intense and sweeter because you're not juicing the skin, the inner skin. You can go slowly, you can go quickly and bring it all the way down. And as I mentioned, you can actually turn it a little bit too inside the ream to be able to squeeze it again and get a little more juice. I started with the centrifuge first so it would have a chance to settle. You can actually see how much juice we get once it's settled. With these juicers, there's like the whole slow juicer or the Jupiter citrus press. You really don't need to wait for the juice to settle before drinking it. Again, as I mentioned, I'll just turn a little bit and squeeze out a little extra. I've got 4 pieces squeezed, and we'll do our last 2. These are pretty large grapefruit. They really fit perfectly the maximum width of the bowl here. Turn a little bit, squeeze a little more. That one split open. I did push quite hard down on that one. And it is pretty wide. So it does end up splitting a little bit somewhere along the skin. Perfect. Okay. I will turn this around just so you can. Perfect. So there's our results with our 4 juicers. I'll just pour this into the same size cup to give an idea of the quantity. I couldn't slip this cup underneath. It wasn't wide enough. The base isn't wide enough to accommodate it. So still really surprising, even though we are getting a little bit less juice, because we're not juicing the inner skin. It still produced a fair amount of juice, just about 3 cups. With this one here, the whole slow juicer, very careful here, we do have more than 3 cups. We're going to like 3 1/3 cups of juice. With the Breville juice fountain, a little more complicated to tell how much juice we do have at this point. We do have 2 cups of clear juice. It's going up to about 3 2/3 with the first, there's like 3 layers here of foam that's starting to turn to juice, and then this is just pure foam. So I'd say this is producing just about the same 3 1/3 cups of juice. So as far as production-wise, they're doing very similar to the last with the juice press. As mentioned, the flavor will be more intense because there's hardly any pulp. We're really just squeezing the juice out. With the whole slow juicer, we're getting the whole juice. The pulp, everything got squeezed. Some of it did end up in the juice. Whereas with the centrifuge juicer, everything gets filtered with the centrifugal filter. So you're really getting clear juice, like there'll be no pulp in it. Let's compare a little bit of pulp. You can see with the press, that's what stays inside. You really can't squeeze it anymore. So there is a bit of waste, but the flavor, I'm sure you'll find, is really good. With the whole slow juicer, we have pulp pieces that came out like this. There's really no juice that I can squeeze out. You can see here, nothing is squeezing out. So it feels moist because it's a lot of skin from the inner fruit, but there's no juice coming out. Now with the centrifuge juicer, there's a fair bit more pulp. It's a lot more airy. And I will go in and reach in there and see. Very gooey. And I doubt I could squeeze anything. Well, there's a few drops coming out. Very gooey pulp. And there's some juice coming out, as you see. But really, that's about all you're going to get from that juicer. Now, go ahead and wipe my hands. I will give a taste. Let's taste these 3 juices and see what the flavor is like. 3 glasses. Okay, so pour some of the Breville juice. Don't get too much foam. The juice from the Kuving's whole slow juicer. You see a lot more pulp in it. And this will not be comparable to pre-made store-bought juice. Can't get any more fresh squeeze than that. So you can definitely see in the color a difference between the 3. This one is the one that really brings in the ruby red color of the grapefruit. A little loss of color with the centrifuge juicer, probably from the air being incorporated into the juice during juicing. And this juice is, as I mentioned, a lot more clear. There's no pulp, so the coloring is actually still inside the fruit here. So I'll start with the centrifuge juicer, the Breville juicer. A little bit tart. Sorry, I definitely taste its juice from a centrifuge juicer. My fruit was cold. With this one here, I can still sense that it's cold right from the refrigerator. Oddly, with the Breville juicer, it doesn't feel as cold. Not really any heat generated during the centrifuge process. A little bit with the blade breaking down, but I think it's probably just the air incorporated did bring up the temperature. Because this one's, I can taste it much colder. Obviously, there's also fiber, a lot more pulp in it. And with the Jupiter citrus press, this is very good. Very clean. Really just the grapefruit taste. There's no pulp. Maybe one or two pieces made it through. Show you the holes here. It's really squeezing and the fruit is staying all together. The holes are still rather large. They could let pulp through, but in essence they're not very much pulp that ends up in your juice. It kind of really all holds together and stays inside. So there you have it. My comparison. 3 juicers juicing grapefruit. My personal favorite is the whole slow juicer. I like to use this every morning for either grapefruit or oranges. Unfortunately, my least favorite will be the Breville Juice Fountain Elite, just because it's not a great citrus juicer. You can still see, even after all this time, there's still lots of foam on top. Imagine if I mix it, it'll kind of settle together. The flavor is not as good as it is with the cubings, nor with the Jupiter Citrus Press. Well, again, this is Mark with rawnutrition.com. Be sure to check us out online and subscribe to our YouTube videos. Hi, this is Mark with rawnutrition.com. In this video, I'm going to be comparing 3 different juicers juicing grapefruits. I got 3 different types of juicers here, and I'm going to do a demonstration with each one. First, I'll talk a little bit about each juicer and how it works to extract the juice from the fruit. So let's get started right away. I've got the first juicer on this side is the Breville Juice Fountain Elite. It's a centrifugal juicer, and it basically extracts juice through centrifugal force. I'll open this up here so you can see that. So basically the fruit is pushed inside this blade. It'll be spun, chewed, the fibers are through centrifugal force hit the sides, and the juice is filtered through the screen. Juices through this will produce very little pulp. You will notice that in our demonstration. I'll also be comparing the type of juice you get with each juicer. So with the centrifuge juicer, definitely there'll be little pulp because it's all going through that fine screen. Assemble this back together. This is a very fast turning juicer. The Breville Juice Fountain Elite, this is the model 800. It turns at 10,000 revolutions per minute. Perfect, so enough said about the Breville. Over here I've got the Cubings, the whole slow juicer. This is a slow masticating type juicer. It's actually a large auger in the center that slowly grinds, crushes, and squeezes the juice out of the fiber of the fruit.